Hey, good evening. This evening we will be playing Swords and Wizardry Complete Rule Book and playing an adventure that I will reveal the name and author of it later at the end of the game because I know some of the people playing the game have it. So the name of the adventure I have switched a little bit around is called Purge in Porter's Crown. The hamlet of Porter's Crown lies along the western edge of the Komor Forest. Its primary purpose is to farm the fertile soils and keep watch on any illegal activity or any monsters and creatures that appear from the forest. The hamlet reports back to the barony of Highvale, which is ruled by the Baron Sir Kellington at Highvale Harmony, about a day or day and a half ride from Porter's Crown. Every week, though, a rider goes back to Highvale to report in any activity or things going on there around the forest. Sir Kendall Kellington, the Baron, is getting a little worried because now it is coming up on 2 weeks without any word from the hamlet. No rider has come, no raven, no anything to report what's going on. So he has put out one of the town criers there in Highvale, his castle and his city, and it is going around trying to find anyone that would be brave enough to travel to Porter's Crown and discover what is going on, if they need any type of assistance or what has caused the delay of not reporting back. So as we begin tonight, Mike, as you are in the city of Highvale and you hear the town crier walking along saying that the Baron is looking for any adventurers to go to Porter's Crown, tell me about who you're going to be playing and what your reaction to that would be.
I'm playing Canna Worms. Canna is a thief, a halfling. He's currently dressed in rather high boots, a green tunic, yellow trousers with a purple cape, and he's wearing a large sandwich board that has this painted on it: "I am an honest thief and a liar." And he's just standing and walking behind the town crier, looking to see if there are any marks that arrive so that he can either get into their pockets or he can score in some other way.
Yeah, as you're walking along, like I say, this is not a huge city. I mean, it's bigger than a lot you've traveled through. I mean, you would think maybe population-wise would be a couple thousand or so here, but yeah, roll me a D20 and let me know what you get.
That's a 7.
You see a group of young children that are eyeing you. Maybe, there's not many halflings that come through Highvale. And you see a group of children that seem to be just intently eyeing you. And they're whispering and they're pointing at you as soon as you reach to try to pickpocket someone. And they pretty much catch you in the act.
And I'd say, now, children, this is what you shouldn't do. And then I'll point, because I am an honest thief. And
Perfect. Crystal, you're walking through the city of Highvale as you hear the town crier putting out the call for adventurers.
I'm playing Marasa. She is a human ranger. Her life's goal is to one day become a ranger knight. At this point in her life, though, she's like she's not even really like a part of them. Like she kind of hangs around them and hopes to prove herself to them. So she actually originally heard some of the knights talking about some unnatural problems going on around this area. And that's sort of the reason that she's traveled here. So as she arrives and, she hears the crier, calling out, looking for adventurers and everything. She's kind of already aware that they were looking for adventurers, but she doesn't really know a lot of details. So she thinks the first thing that would make sense for her to do would be to look for probably someone in an authoritative position, like a mayor or something like that. And so, yeah, that's what she's gonna seek to do. She's gonna attempt to head towards the city hall of this area or something like that, and see if she can find someone that's in charge here.
Yeah, you would know by the information being put out by the town crier. Anyone interested is to report to the Baron's castle and contact a gentleman by the name of Sir Delton Greencoat.
All right. So, yeah, she keeps that information in mind and begins to head on over towards the Baron's castle, eager to get started and to prove herself worthy of one day being a ranger knight.
Yep, as you're headed that way, and the halfling who has been caught, who is handed in the cookie jar already, move over to you, Daniel, as you come into town and hear the call go out. If you can tell us about who you're going to be playing and their reaction.
So you see, kind of over by where the horses get their water, the troughs, a young lady. She's cleaning herself in kind of old clothes. She's been in town now for about a week or so. She's been doing repairs at the church. She's come here, near the Borderlands, in search of a quest, being a paladin. But you wouldn't know it from looking at her now, as she looks more like a commoner. When she hears the crier, she tidies herself up quickly and heads towards the church, the back of the church, to bid them farewell and to get her equipment. And she'll head to the mayor's mansion.
All right, perfect. And as we round out, the last party member that is coming in, hearing the town crier, Yang, if you can introduce your character.
I'm going to be playing Kendrick, the inept mage. You see a gaunt, not so tall, average height, a very thin man dressed in a conic blue hat that extends well above his head, and also clad in blue cloak and tunic as well. He's wearing a very tight pantaloons, and they're also kind of sky blue. And he's actually being chased out of a circus. And there's an old lady saying, "Get out, you inept mage! I never want to see your face ever again." And he looks at her and says, "But I'm not that. I wasn't supposed to use magic on that trick." And she says, "I never want to see you again, you inept mage! Never! Get out!" And he has his pockets. He has his hands in his pocket, and he looks around. "Oh, what am I gonna do now?" And he comes upon one of the party members. I don't know who it would be.
Yeah, you run into the halfling about the same time.
"Oh, I didn't see you there."
Oh, that's okay. I saw you, though.
Oh, what a day. I just lost my job. I don't know how I'm going to make my living now.
Well, here, I mean, you probably need to go to an interview. I'll brush you down. It's quite dusty today. And he gets out his little his little brush and dustpan and starts rubbing down the magic user here.
"Oh my, you're so kind. You're probably the kindest person that I've met in this town so far."
Oh, yes, I am kind. And he begins to try rummaging through your pockets and that as he is carefully cleaning you.
Yeah, let's see. Can I roll? I'll tell you what, roll 3d6 on your against your say your dex.
Okay. That is 13 out of 15.
All right, Kendrick, roll 3d6 on your wisdom.
Here we go. I got 14. My wisdom is 15.
All right, so you made it by 1. The halfling made it by 2. Kendrick, you feel maybe the halfling a little bit, maybe 2. You feel like maybe inappropriate touch at first, but then you kind of just shag it off. And
Hey. That's not proper for you to touch. Not down there. Come on. I'm not that kind of guy. Come on. Leave me alone.
I'm sorry. I meant nothing by it. I just want to make you appear to be at your best.
Yeah, I suppose it's it's got to do with your height. Well, so
what exactly do you think I was grabbing at?
Well,
I was cleaning you. I wasn't trying to touch you in any way.
But yeah, well, I mean, in my line of work, I've seen all kinds of folks, and they're always after trying to take advantage of me one way or the other.
I would
people
never
try to
do that.
People try to take some gold off of me one time, and oh man, I remember the time that I lost half of my shirt. Ugh.
Yeah, half of your shirt.
Yeah, those wicked folks of the eastern town. Oh boy. But anyway, sometimes the crowd are quite rough. It seems like I gotta find a way to make a living, though.
Well, you probably need someone to back you up, and I'm the person to do that.
Well, it's very kind of you. Do you know where they're hiring a mage?
Well, I heard something about this Sir Dalton Greencoat. He might want something. He's over at the castle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, he may need a jester. I'm not very competent when it comes to casting, incredible magic, but I'll be happy to tag along if you're on your way to see him.
Oh, well, I was going to follow you. I'll be your follower. I insist, in fact.
I've never had a follower before. I've always followed other people.
Oh, I'm the best follower. I'll make sure that you're taken well care of.
There's first time for everything, I suppose. Well, we better look for some other people to follow then. And then he starts walking down the road.
yeah, and also, Ken, roll me a d4 and add 1 to your result.
A D4?
Yep, and plus 1.
That's a 2.
All right. Even though that Kendrick kind of caught you, you also made a good roll. You were able to secure 2 of his gold pieces off of his body, and he did not see you get those.
Yes. I'll say, hey, excuse me, sir, I didn't get your name.
Kendrick. They call me Kendrick the Inept, but I'm hoping to change my nickname quite soon.
I'm Canna, the honest thief. And here, you dropped this 1 gold piece.
Hey, that's the first time that I've ever heard such a title. Honest thief.
Exactly. And an honest liar, too.
Well, you make a very interesting moniker, my friend. He takes the gold back. Thanks a lot for making sure that I'm well provided for. Even though it's my own money.
Like I said, I got your back. I'm just looking out for you.
I feel like you're such a trustworthy person. Well, it's good to make a new friend, Kenna.
Yes. What's your name?
Kendrick, like I said, Kendrick.
Yes, Kendrick. I'm just going to call you Mark, if that's okay.
That's interesting. Mark. Maybe Kendrick the Mark?
There we go. That sounds good to me. That's perfect.
As this scene is playing out, and you two start making your way, newfound friends start making your way to the location of the Baron, what you would know to be the Baron's castle. We jump over to Jory and we jump over to Marasa. As you two have already arrived there and explained to the gate guard of the reason you're there, and you've been escorted to this room to wait on Sir Dalton Greencoat. And you're escorted into what appear to be like probably an old library or something. The tables are dusty. It doesn't appear anybody's been in here in a while. And maybe you would expect with the town crier, with the call going out, that you would expect maybe a lot of people that have already shown up to be interviewed. But as you two are escorted in here, you find yourselves the only two here at this point.
Marasa and who else?
You and Jory, the paladin.
Yeah. So when Marasa arrives, Jory is kind of showing up at the same time, and Marasa, she's been out in the forest and stuff most of her life, so kind of knowing the culture of towns and cities is just really not her strong point. But Jory seemed dressed in her very heavy armor and and having just this feel of goodness around her and everything. She Marasa kind of allows Jory to take the lead for her, and she kind of just follows her steps. So if she sees Jory bow or speak in a certain way, she attempts to sort of mimic Jory a bit, trying to appear to be just a normal town folk.
Okay, so we're at the front office.
Y'all been escorted into what appears to be an old library of a bunch of books, but it appears to be unused. There's quite a bit of dust built up, and no one appears to be. It's been here in quite some time.
Okay. Are there any other entrances?
Just the door that when you come through into the castle, when you were escorted in, you were brought into the main hall and escorted. There's just one door in and out of this room.
Okay. Is there a desk?
Yeah, there's in a huge, it looks probably maybe centuries ago was used as a war meeting table or something.
Okay. I'm gonna walk up to the desk, and then I'm just gonna, if there's nobody in here, right, so then I'm just gonna turn so that I'm facing the door. And then I look at Marasa and I say, seems there's a word out for talent of sorts. Is that why you're here?
Yes, that is what I heard as well by the man with the bell shouting in the middle of town.
Yes. I had a vision 3 weeks ago that I should head in this direction, that evil was coming. So here I am.
I overheard some companions of my own talking about strange things that have begun happening around this place. So I decided to make myself useful and come to see if I can put an end to this strangeness. Putting an end to unnatural things is sort of my business. To maintain the balance of nature, as it were.
Excellent. I am Jory of Jory, and she extends her hand.
I am Marasa of the Kindlins.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
You as well. And she will also, like at first when you extend her hand, she kind of just looks at it, and then she kind of realizes, oh, I should do the same, and extends her hand.
Okay. So then we fist bump.
Yeah.
And I guess I just wait until Green Sleeves comes.
Yeah, and as you're waiting on him, and you two make your introductions, seems like maybe a minute or two after that, the door opens, and you see a small halfling in what appears to be maybe a frail-looking human magic user are escorted into the room as you four are brought together, and the guard says, Sir Greencoat will be with you shortly.
Excellent. They've brought us provisions. And I look as if they're supposed to be serving us. Have you brought wine?
Wine, you say? Yes.
Well, I have a jar full of ogre's toe jam. If you'd like to examine it.
Yeah, I meant to say ogre's toe jam. That's it's kind of like wine.
Oh, I look at Marosa. These are the classic adventurer types.
I see. Oh,
But this is no adventurer. I want to introduce you to Kendrick the Great.
Oh no, you misspoke. You mean Kendrick the Mark, right?
Oh yes, Kendrick Mark the Great, or the Great Mark.
Hey, I do like that title. Yeah, Kendrick Mark the Great. Yes. How do you do? It's a great pleasure to meet you both.
I am Jory of Jory. This is Marasa, my companion.
I almost thought you were the people that we were supposed to meet here. I thought you were Mr. Greencourt, Green Sleeve.
no, we're supposed to be meeting a Delton green coat here.
Green coat. Oh yes. And he looks over to the halfling.
Yeah, that's what I said. A Delta Greencoat, right?
Yeah, I thought I heard something else before. He looks. He averts the gaze of all the people and really doesn't know what to do.
Marasa really doesn't like these two, so she's just going to back up further to towards Jory. But she's going to kind of go over towards the bookshelves and sort of read some of the titles, but just, staying away from those two.
Canna will walk over boldly and extend his hand to Jory.
Roll me,
My lady.
as you're looking at those books, roll me 3, or I'll tell you, it'll be 4d6 against your intelligence.
Okay, give me one second. I gotta look at what my intelligence is. 14, not that bad. Let's see. 5, 9, 10, 11, 12 under 14.
Yeah, you notice that most of the books appear to be very ancient, very old. They don't appear to be about anything new. You notice there are a lot of books that seem to be related to the forest of Komor, which you would know is a huge, very large forest that borders out on the edges of the barony. But you notice there are some books on it, and just other type of various books. But you don't recognize anything that really stands out.
I would very much so like to take the book on the forest of Komori and begin to read on it.
Yeah, you're able to do that.
So when the halfling approaches, Jory looks down at him and it says, is it wise to announce yourself as a thief, or are you more of a joker?
It's up to you. I mean, I figure if I'm honest with people, I can't really be a thief then, right?
I've met more honest thieves than I can count.
You see? Then then I'm honest then.
I feel that it would be in the best interests of the group if you would remove that board.
Oh, you want me to remove the board? That's fine. Hey, I do a great thing. I like to read hands and palms in my spare time. Would you like your palm read?
I often chop off hands of thieves.
Oh. I see. Well, since I'm an honest thief, I would never want to have my hands chopped off, and I would never do anything to cause you to chop my hands off.
To be fair, I don't believe dishonest thieves would like their hands chopped off either. Of course, I don't know many thieves.
Well, you know one now. And I please, what was your name?
I am Marasa of Kindlewood.
Oh, Marasa. Marasa. Hey, can I read your palm, perhaps?
No, thank you. I like using my palms to flip through this book right now.
Say, Kenna, if you want to read my palm, I'll be happy to lend it. Here.
You want me to read your palm?
Sure.
Okay. I have a special technique that I do it. I have to put one hand behind your back, and then I hold your hand with my other hand. Kind of steadies myself, and that way I could get a full sense of your being.
Well, that sounds all right. Go ahead.
Oh, I hate to do this to you again.
As you prepare to do that, the door
Yes.
bursts opens, and a human appears about 6'1" or 6'2" and older. He's all gray-haired. He's got a beard, very well trimmed, and appears to be very well oiled and perfumed. Comes into the door, and he has this green cloak around his beautiful clothing that he's wearing, and you see the sigil of what the High Falcon, which is the sigil of the Baron, as he comes in and he closes the door behind, and he looks straight first, and he sees Kenna there, and he goes, "I thought we threw you out of town last week. Weren't you the one who was breaking into the seamstress shop, or have I got you mixed up with another halfling?"
Again, that was my brother-in-law, actually. We look a lot alike.
Oh, okay. Well, how did you get in here? I know you didn't get past the guards.
Well, I just walked in. You see, I'm an honest thief. I let everybody know exactly what's going on.
Oh,
Yeah, I vouch for this man's character. He has actually helped me while I was in dire straits in the town.
Yes, he was just about to show us his palm reading technique.
Yes, he's actually a companion of mine. We came here together, hearing that there may be some opportunity to make a living.
He looks towards you, Kendrick, and you don't hear it. Jory, roll me 3d6 on your wisdom, though. You're going to be standing closest, I'm going to say.
2, 3, 6, and my wisdom is 15, so 615.
Oh, yeah. You definitely hear Sir Dalton Greencoat mutter kind of under his breath when he looks at Kendrick. He goes, "It does appear you're in dire straits."
So Jory steps forward and she goes down to one knee and presents herself. "I am Jory of Jory, here to serve the good of man and the kingdom. At your service."
Oh, wonderful. A law-abiding paladin.
Marasa, seeing Jory do this, also goes to one knee and says, "I am Marasa of Kindling, seeker to become a ranger knight, also here to do service to your kingdom."
I'm Kendrick, Kendrick Mark, and I'm a mage, sir. He stammers and bends his knee.
And Kenna drops to his knee and says, "And I am Kenna of Worms, a follower of the great Kendrick the Mark."
Ah, it is your brother. He goes by Redworm, doesn't he?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, you're okay then. Yes. Introductions aside, as I say, I'm Sir Delton Greencoat. I'm the captain of the guard and the personal advisor to the Baron. Seems that we do have a situation You may not be familiar with the small hamlet of Porter's Crown. It's on the outlying scope of the barony there next to the edge of the Komor Forest. And very small hamlet, not many people there. They tend to the fields and things just outside of the hamlet, but they report back every week. They have a writer come in to report of any strange or unusual occurrences coming in or around the forested area or any strange occurrences. Yesterday would have been week 2. We've not had anybody come in. There's been no writer, no word. The Baron is getting a little unnerved about it. It's very unusual for them not to have someone come in on that weekly schedule. So it would appear the Baron would like to hire a group of people to travel to Porter's Crown. It's going to take you probably a day and a half travel on horseback. Of course, we'll provide the horses if you don't have one, and of course, any supplies or rations to get there and back. But it will pay very well.
Is there any information in the book on Porter's Crown?
Yeah, you would have noticed it pretty much what he says. It's just a very small hamlet. Maybe 20 people live there or something, and it's just seems like they tend to some farms and fields there, and but you find out it's nothing at all that stands out about it though.
So Jory is going to say, "Sir, in previous reports leading up to the last, had there been any unusual problems?"
Nothing at all. I mean, of course, the forest is very deep and very vast, but further in, there's problems in the forest. But, the only things that they ever report back is a few bands of wolves that come out and attack some of the livestock, or, there may be a raiding band of orcs that come and take some of the vegetables from the field, but there's never been anything that would put any type of concern there at all.
Yes. It's funny, back in the more civilized lands, they think orcs eat people, but in fact, once you're out here for a while, you realize they're vegetarians.
That's true. Most of them are.
Strange. Still, they're angry. Well, I'll donate my fee to the church, clearly, and I have my mount. And if the Lord has provided these 3 to come, I will travel with them, and we will solve this mystery.
Well, it appears that no one else is going to come in and apply for the mission, so I would think you 4 that will be fine. Just maybe keep an eye on any kind of eyes, Canna.
Oh, Master Greencourt, thank you so much for this great opportunity. I just cannot express how thankful I am that you're giving me this opportunity to work for the Baron. I'm just so thrilled, sir.
So are we getting an advance on this, Barney? Is that what before we go out, just that we could provision ourselves?
Oh, how would I have known you would be the one to ask that question?
Come on, don't press your luck.
And he pulls
They
out
could fire us.
No, it's okay. I'm an accountant. Really.
He pulls out a little bag, a pouch, and throws straight towards you, Canna. And if you open it up, you'll find there's 10 gold pieces in there. And he says, as I've stated, provisions of horses and food and water. And if you need any type of armor, missile weapons or arrows or bolts, if you carry those type of weapons. But when you get back and report back safely, the Baron will add an extra 100 gold to each of you.
My fee, I would like to go to land conservation, and then any left over to local charities to help the poor place.
Ah, perfect. I can see between you and Jory that your hearts are where they need to be as he looks towards Canna.
Sir Greencoat, also, I apologize, but I did read over this book on the woodlands while we were waiting. Would you mind if I borrowed this? I would bring it back, of course, but it might be of some help in our travels to know the kinds of wild fruits and such which grow around the area.
Roll me a 46 against your charisma.
That's 16 over, like, I think I have like an 8 on my charisma or something like that. Yeah, 8 charisma.
Yep, so 8 over.
Yeah.
He looks towards you and he goes, well, as you can probably be aware by just looking at the book, that is a very fragile old book, and the Baron loves his library of old tomes. It would probably be best to, if you want to scan over it and make you some notes on some parchment, I can get that, but the book should stay in a library.
Yes, sir. I understand.
How about if we pay a rental fee? That we just, that I'll give you some gold, and then when we bring the book back, you can give me the gold back.
Of course not, Kenna. Of course not.
Well, don't worry, my fellas. I have a parchment over here, and I always carry my quill with me. Let me take a look. I'll be able to transcribe whatever that may be useful for us.
Okay. Make some notes there. And she looks at the thief, the halfling, and says, put your ear to the ground. See if anybody's got word that didn't come to the Baron. I don't trust you to get the provisions, so we'll take care of that. And I look at Marissa, and I say, we'll meet back here in 2 hours. And then I walk out, and I bow to the green coat, scooping up the money as I...
Yes. I muttered to myself, I got to remember that trick.
Who is going to actually...
The paladin is the best thief of the group.
Yes.
That's usually the case.
Kendrick, you and Marassa are going to be the two that's going to kind of read over the book and maybe make any notes, correct?
Yeah. And he's also gonna, check out what other books are there on that bookshelf.
Yeah, you don't find anything else interesting. Most of them are just old books about the history of this area and stuff. But if you two will roll me a d6, though, as you're going through this book about the Komor Forest.
I got 6.
I rolled a 4.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, y'all go through and just make general notes. I mean, it's just what you find is, like I say, just general notes about the forest and, some of the dangers that were, were in it many, many years and centuries ago. But all those have been taken care of. You don't see anything that appears to be anything out of place that would give you any kind of concern.
Well,
Okay.
it looks like wolves and boars are the most dangerous creatures in this forest.
Yes, fairly common wild plants and edibles that I could already identify. So we'll put this book back and be on our way.
Say, is it true that orcs are vegetarians?
Well, I cannot say. I've never actually met an orc. I can say for certain that goblins are not vegetarian.
Well, I'm sure glad that they won't be eating us.
Let us hope not.
You would know time-wise, it's about mid-morning, we'll say about 10 o'clock. Doing any provisions or getting things ready. And like I say, the Baron is going to provide horses for those that don't have horses and water, food, such. You would know that if you left that afternoon that it's going to take you at least a day, maybe a day and a half travel by horseback to get to Porter's Crown. But if you left, that afternoon, you could, travel up until nighttime and, probably you would think get there on the second day at the end, close to the end of that day. If you left or if you wanted to wait till the next day and left out, it would be a full day ride and then get there the next morning of the third morning.
No, we'll go today. It shouldn't take that long, I don't think, to provision.
Nope, that's what I say. You can probably leave maybe 1, 2 o'clock that afternoon, roughly.
Yeah,
I get horses for whoever doesn't have one. I mean, I have a horse, but gotta make sure we have enough food and water and everything. Yeah, as soon as they're ready, I tell Marissa, traveling through the forest is clearly your specialty. If you would take the lead, I'd be much obliged.
Yes, I would be honored to do so.
And I'll jump on my horse.
Yeah, I'll ride my horse like to the forest.
Well, no, actually, there is no forest here in this area. It's the forest.
Okay.
It will be later on before we get to the forest. I mean, eventually.
Oh, it's just open land to the.
Correct. Yeah, the first part of travel is just open land. Correct.
Okay. Well, let's still say that we're still not in the city, so.
I'll take the lead for leading us. I guess I would have like the best sense of direction. I'd also like to say that part of my abilities is alertness, and as long as I'm in the party, we can only be surprised on a 1 in 6 according to the book.
All right. Correct.
Nice.
excellent.
Yep, you'll take the lead, and like I say, you have plenty of provisions. The horses seem to be good mounts, good equipment to go with them as you head out. The weather is pretty moderate. You would know it's probably getting closer to the end of the summer season. It's you would think about 80 degrees this day. It seems a little warmer than usual for this area, but there's just a light breeze blowing as you head out that afternoon. Of course, the first hour or two of travel, say from 1 to 3 p.m., you pass a bunch of farms and a bunch of open fields and stuff close being to the city. And meet quite a bunch of people on the road. But as you travel on that evening and come to the point of, you would think it's about maybe an hour before the sun settles in and nightfall begins. There's kind of sparse travel on the road, and you start seeing some patches of forest, but you would know that this is not really part of the Komor Forest itself. That you probably won't come up on it until the next day. But you see sporadic patches of forest along the road while you're traveling, and like I say, it's very sparse, populated that you're meeting anybody at this point.
Do we see any farms like within that we think we can get to before dark comes?
No, they've also very thinned and sparsed out also now. I mean, you've passed one maybe every 20 to 30 minutes of travel now instead of every 5.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, if we think we can get to one before it gets night, I'd rather stay there. But if not, then we'll set up a camp, I guess. Because I'll ask for hospitality, being a paladin and all that. But if we don't think so, then I think we go another like 20 minutes, and if we don't pass another farmstead, then we can set up.
Yeah, as you travel those 20 minutes, roll me a d6.
Okay. 1.
Yeah, you look out and you see what appears to be a very small farm. The house appears to be small. The barn next to it appears, and you hear maybe sounds of some pigs and chickens and stuff. But you do look out and come up on one.
Fantastic. All right, so I asked the party to stay by the road, and I'm gonna mosey up with my war horse and jump down. And if nobody comes out, I'll knock on the door.
Yeah, as you get down, I mean, it's still enough light, of course, to see. I mean, it's a little bit of a twilight starting to come in. I mean, it's enough to see, but you hear from around the corner of the house, come around there, and you look about the same time, and you're looking maybe eye level for your height or whatever, but you peer down and you see a halfling standing there. It would probably appear to be almost a cousin to Canna, standing there wearing these work clothes and this big straw hat, and he goes, "Huh? Well, you startled me, a young lady. What? Does your horse need water and food?"
So I go down onto like one knee, so I'm down to his height, and I say, "I am Jory of Jory. We are on a mission." I put my hand out so we can see the rest of the party. For the Baron, we seek hospitality into camp near your homestead for the safety of it for the evening, and some water for the horses, please.
Oh, of course. Anything to do. Oh, you were lucky to get here before dark. I mean, I would hate it for you to camp out on the roadway there. Now, my house is very small. Yeah, I can put you and your companions up there in the barn in the hayloft or whatever.
That would be more than sufficient. I thank you, and I'll signal for the others to come.
Well, I'm not a can of worms.
While Jory was riding off to go find the house, Marasa would have liked to said to the other party, "This is a very small farm. Goblins love to raid places like this. I'm gonna check around and make sure that I see no nest of kobolds or other such monsters." And she wants to ride off just around the general area, like in a circle, and then she'll come back around.
Yeah, you've got that what 90%, and then isn't it minus 10 if there's any daytime going by?
Yeah. On a day-to-day basis, it's minus 10 for each day old the tracks are, and minus 10 for the entire effort thereafter for each day of rain snow that has fallen on the trail.
Yeah, roll. You can roll that. We'll take away the 10% though. You'll need an 80.
Okay. I rolled a 39.
Yeah, you don't see any type of creature or monster tracks, anything that looks anything familiar to you or anything out of place. It appears that there's been any type of activity here in at least days or weeks.
Okay. All right. So when she sees so she'll be riding back around, and then Jory calls the others over, and if she sees them riding towards the place, then she'll ride as well. Just whenever you think Marissa can arrive, just she'll be there.
Yeah, and you all four are able to go up to the farmstead and meet the halfling that appears he would be a cousin to Canna.
Cuz? Is that you? It's me, Canna. Canna from Worms.
He pulls this big straw hat back on his forehead, and he goes, "You're from the worms too? Oh, I'm not a can of worms."
Oh, what a coincidence! This is great. Hey, this is I follow this guy around. This is Kendrick, the Great Mark.
It is a great honor to meet you, sir. Not a worms. And then he takes off his cone-shaped hat and bows very deeply.
Well, you were traveling in good company in the travels of a paladin. That is so wonderful. I've offered a food, drink, and you have lodging there in the barn. I mean, there's not. You probably won't have to worry about anything. There's not many creatures that stir around this. Going on. If you're going on down the road to the area of the Komor Forest, you may run into stuff there. But usually, we haven't had anything happen here. Now, wait, old Bob was telling me that he had some weirdness going on about 3 weeks ago. He said something about seeing these, I don't know. He called them it wasn't a lightning in the sky, but like a weird, I don't know. Anyway, Bob gets on the bottle too much. But yeah, there's not much goes on around here, so you should have a comfy sleep there in the barn.
What do you mean lightning? That lightning coming down from the sky, or what are you talking about here, cuz?
Well, Bob said it was, like these red flashes. I've never seen any red lightning, though, and I've been on this earth for what's going on? I done lost count.
Red lightning, you say?
Well, and that's what Bob says. But like I say, Bob gets on that corn liquor quite a bit.
That's most fascinating, sir. Has he ever heard of anything like that before?
Roll me a 46 against your intelligence.
No. I got 18 on my intelligence. So, no.
Yeah, it's all weird. You all pass it off pretty much as just somebody drinking too much liquor and seeing things in the sky.
Well, it's nothing that I've ever heard of.
Yeah, like I say, me either. But anyway, please, I'll bring out a big bowl or pot of stew to the barn. Make yourselves comfy. Just move Bessie over to the last stall. She'll be okay.
Well, that's great. Hey, Cuz, I think you dropped something over here. I'm seeing a shiny thing right next to the threshold. And he lifts up a gold piece that he had pocketed earlier. He goes, "This isn't yours, is it?"
Well, no, but it seems like you brought some good luck to us, though. I can put it to good use for buying food for Bessie and them.
Well, I bet you could, because I'm just going to look around and see what else I can find.
Well, please do make yourselves comfy. I'll bring out that big pot of hobgoblin stew as soon as I can.
Hobgoblin stew? You don't mean that we actually would eat hobgoblin, would you?
Well, now listen here, silly young'un. That's just the name of it. The recipe come from an old hobgoblin tribe, but it doesn't have any hobgoblin.
Oh, of course, yes.
Yes, I think it's mostly potatoes.
Yeah, it's all vegetables.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people don't know. Orcs, hobgoblins, things like that, they're vegetarians. Did y'all know that?
I knew that hobgoblins are vegetarian, thanks to Dame Jory here.
Yes, thank you for your hospitality, sir. She's going to go to the barn and remove her armor and get it all polished up, whatever, and pray.
Yeah, and about an hour goes by, probably 30, 40 minutes after dark time, and you see a lantern coming out as the halfling brings this big pot of stew and leaves it with you, and he says, "Well, up at daylight, us farmers, we have to be up at daylight, so I need to get my rest. If you would like breakfast, be up there not long after daylight. Just come and knock on the door."
We thank you. And I take the stew and we'll dish it out. So this looks pretty safe, team, but I think we should still keep a guard out.
Yeah, Marasa, when she got back, she would have reported, I went around the farm because I know, goblins, kobolds, orcs, they like to attack small, undefended places like this. But
yeah,
it's been weeks since I've seen any tracks. Some orcs, maybe a few, 3-4 days ago out a while back.
Is the barn structured so that there's a second floor?
There's like a loft up there on there. I mean, it's not a full second floor. There's like a loft that has some hay and stuff. I mean, you would think it'd be cramped for everyone to get up there then.
Cool. Yeah, well, I can take the first watch if you guys don't mind. I could just climb up there and keep an eye out.
You're going to watch from inside?
You don't expect me to go out there during the night, do you?
I don't expect you to do much, to be honest.
Well,
however,
between
with your fine companion here, and I look at the halfling, the two of you can take watch together, and the ladies will take watch together.
Well, then I can watch then. I'll watch by myself, and Sir Kendrick, you just Kendrick the Great, you just go ahead and rest yourself.
Why, thank you. Kenna, you're the best thing that has ever happened to me. Getting thrown out of that traveling show by old lady Mim was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. With you and Dame Jory and Ranger Murasa, I think things are really looking up. I mean, after all, I just got a new horse. I'm getting fed with good food. I get to travel around, and there's free lodging. This is fantastic.
Young man. Number one, you will not sleep where the women sleep. Number two, this is not free. It's hospitality that you must then pass on to others by your good deeds.
Yes, of course, Dame Jury.
Good. Why don't you actually clean out the barn if you're not going to be on duty whilst we rest? And I'll take second shift with Marissa. And then she's going to go up into the...
That sounds fair, I suppose. And he
yes, that
slinks
stall
away.
over there is particularly bad. You do know how to clean horse dung, right?
Horse dung? I normally do little cantrips here and there. I do some juggling, but I've never cleaned horse stalls before.
Well, I mean, just kind of, you want to spread it out evenly over the ground, help with the vegetation and everything.
Oh, so it's an agricultural enhancement, I suppose?
Yes, it helps. It helps for the growing of plants.
I'll make sure to make a note of that on my book. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take care of that for you. And then he just, happily slinks over to the stall with that, pile of horse dung.
All right. And Kenna, you're going to take the first watch of the evening or night?
Yep,
All right. Roll me a d6.
that is a 6.
All right. That's good. Nothing happens. You see Kendrick do his manual labor and do it well. Who's going second, Jory?
Yeah.
All right. Roll me a d6, please.
2.
All right. Oh, let's see here. Let's see what randomness we can come across.
Oh, fun. So clearly, when I was on guard duty, I put my armor on. Wouldn't have.
All right.
Yeah. I'm just sitting out there with my, looking at the stars, thinking about the good deeds that I can do.
Yeah, so you're outside, correct?
Yep.
All right. As you're sitting outside, you see, and it's pretty open here because he's got some crops growing, but they're not too high and everything. But you see a couple of things move, out into the field there, and it appears they're coming up towards the barn. And you would think roughly it's cloudy, but there's enough of light itself in the sky that's still from the moon that you can see dimly. It appears to be about maybe 4 foot high. They do, and they appear to be human shaped. But when it gets like from their neck up to their heads, it's kind of moves out, and it's kind of like a larger head and a larger shoulder area. And you would think for just a moment you're looking at like a top or cap of a mushroom.
Okay. So I'm going to reach back and knock on the barn, loudly. And I'm going to keep an eye on them to see if the mushroom men turn towards me.
You said you do it very loudly, correct?
Yeah, I do it loud enough to warn whoever's inside, ideally.
Yeah, you see one of them. They look like they're appearing to try to come back to the back of the barn, and you see one of them that keeps walking, and the other one stops and looks in your direction as you see the same 4 foot humanoid, but it appears the very large head on it.
Okay. I just very slowly and with a lot of swagger, I raise my heavy crossbow and kind of just have it in my, slung over my arm. I point it in the direction of the creature, but I don't make any, I don't go after it or anything. I just point it, kind of letting it know that I see it.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
The other one keeps moving back towards the back of the barn, like maybe you think that it either didn't hear you, or if it did, it's you're just ignoring it. It's not trying to.
Okay. So I'm going to take like 2 steps. How far away are they from me now? The
We're going to say roughly 40 feet.
Okay. So I'm gonna call out and I'm gonna say, this land is under the protection of the Baron. I suggest you move on if you have not been invited.
Yeah, roll me 3d6 on your charisma.
Oh, okay. I'm not a very charismatic paladin, but all right. So 5 and 3 is 8, and 1 is 9. Oh, I think I made it. Yep, 9 under 11. So not super under, but still under.
Yeah, you see both of the figures stop now at this point. And, of course, the one had already stopped and looking in your direction. When you shout out towards it, you hear it say something to this other one in some language you don't understand. And as you do, it seems like they both just disappear, but you see the ground, like dust fly out from the ground.
Okay. I'm going to bang on the barn again and just kind of like open the door while I'm still looking out into the, in the direction that they came from. And then I'm going to like open the door slightly and call in and I'm going to say, Marissa, we may have trouble. Prepare yourself.
And Marissa was already getting her armor on the first time that the knock came, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so she'll she'll finish putting on her boots and such, and grab her equipment back and start making her way to the door.
Yeah. So once she gets close enough to the door, I'll quickly say what happened. And I'll say, I'm going to walk out and look. I believe they burrowed under the ground. I'm not sure if you've seen these creatures before. Mushroom heads.
Can I do some kind of roll to see if I would know what a mushroom head kind of creature would be?
You can roll 4d6 on your intelligence, I guess.
All right. 3, 5, 7, 8. That's an 8. 8 under 14.
Yeah, so very well under your score. You recall after Joy says what it appeared to be the description of them. You recall one of your fellow rangers, maybe years ago, telling you about. You would have heard the story, though, more appropriate to the Komor Forest. You would have heard stories about these humanoid figures that had these mushroom heads and these mushroom shoulders. It was like a top of a cap of a mushroom, and word was always where they were made by some magical beings, but they were just a little mischievous and all that. They never really meant much harm, but you have heard a little story about it.
Mischievous top. Mischievous caps. That's what an old knight friend of mine once called such a creature. He said that they are like kind of like forest spirits, usually found around Kilmore, I believe. They typically mean no harm. They like to pull little pranks on unsuspecting peoples.
Forest sprites. Oh, that should be no problem then. Stay awake with me for a moment. And I'm going to walk out to where I think they went into the ground and see if I can see any traces of them.
Yeah, you go. We'll say you go to the area of the first one that had stopped. That was supposed to be eyeing you, that you had the eyes on.
Yeah.
And yeah, once you go out there in the soil on the ground of the field, you notice what's unusual about that. There's like a very large growth of mushrooms coming up from the ground there.
Huh. Interesting.
But nothing else. No, it doesn't seem the ground's been disturbed or anything.
She shrugs her shoulders and goes back and tells Marissa, that she can go back to rest. And I will finish the rest of my guard duty.
Yeah, and nothing. If you keep an eye on those two areas up there, you see nothing else happen in that area at all. The rest of your watch goes by very peaceful. And who was going next?
Marissa will go lastly.
Yep, that'll be fine. Roll me a d6.
Oh, nice.
3.
Yeah, you probably keep an eye on that area out there that Jory had showed you, off and on. Maybe even walk out there and you see the same thing, just a natural patch of mushrooms growing up from the ground, but nothing else.
Do these mushrooms seem like good to eat, or do they seem poisonous?
You can make 46 on your wisdom, and I'll let you know.
Reading is
9, 10, 11, 12. That's a 12, and my wisdom's a 10.
Yeah, at first, you pick one of them up or from the ground, and you're looking at it, and at first you think, oh yeah, that's so and so, and then you're not sure, but you're not sure. It reminds you of some that you're familiar with, but then again, it's you're just not sure if you want to take the chance or not.
Yeah, if it's something I'm not 100% sure on, I'm not going to take the chance. But I will. But while I'm on duty, I will check to see how good of a job. What was his name? The wizard.
Kendrick.
Yeah, I'll see how good of a job he did at cleaning out that barn.
Kendrick did a great job at showing the manure and stuff from Bessie and the other animals. Who appears that he maybe has a prior work at doing this.
All right. And could I like maybe find an empty box or something that doesn't seem to be in use, and perhaps make this farmer up some manure using the good manure or the good scooped.
Exactly, you can.
Okay. Yeah. So she's going to do that in order to return the hospitality, as Jory said. We should seek to return the hospitality by doing something good, and so this is what she's going to do. She's going to make the farmer up some really nice manure to put on his crops.
Yep, you're able to do that. Your watch ends as you wake Kendrick up for the last watch. Kendrick, you're being woken up.
Oh, it's you. Is it my turn?
Yes, it is. And you did a very good job cleaning out the stalls, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Ranger Marasa. I just try to do my best.
You might want to hold your breath around that area. I made up some manure for the farmer to use.
Well, I suppose that's the price that we have to pay for having a good food and being able to lodge here safely.
Yes. Well, have a nice watch. Oh, there were some forest spirits around earlier. They didn't mean any harm, just mischievous little fellas. You might still see their mushrooms left over towards she'll name the direction they were in. So
all right.
An eye out for them.
All right, then. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'll stay very close to the barn here.
And then Marissa will return to where Jory sleeps at.
All right.
Okay. So Kendrick steps out, and steps out being obligatory. He just steps right outside the barn door and hides himself near some nook and cranny that he could find. Pulls out a book. The book has a little cat drawing on it, and he says, "Well, it's time for you to come out and do a little favor for me." And he taps on the book, he flips it open and says, come out, meow, meow. And materializes a orange fat cat with a black stripe.
All right.
And, yep. And he says, well, how you doing, Garfield? And the cat just looks at him and goes, well, go out there and look around. Take a look around. Just be discreet. Don't get eaten by wolves or anything. And the cat claws at him. Well, I'm gonna get you some stuff to eat later. And the cat, nods silently and slinks off into the darkness. So the cat is basically gonna be doing the rounds around the barn,
All right.
And relaying the information that that he's able to get.
And the cat is invisible, correct?
For one turn, but I'm gonna leave it up to the cat to turn invisible whenever he wants. It's just
All
the
right.
cat, slinking around in the darkness at night, which isn't all that unusual.
Yeah, and Garfield slinks around the deal. Do you actually go back inside the barn, or are you just going to stay on the outside of the door?
Because they told him to stay outside, he's actually doing that, but he keeps himself, makes himself as small as possible, and it's not too far away from the door. He basically finds the safest spot that he could find and hides
All
himself
right.
there.
Yeah, well, on your watch, roll me a d6 in for your watch.
I get 6.
Perfect. You think close to the end of what you think, you appear the horizon appears the sun is going to be coming up very soon. It's still very cloudy, but you start seeing some morning break of light coming through the clouds, and you think it's almost over, and maybe thinking about breakfast or whatever, and Garfield has come back to you or whatever. There's been nothing found during your watch, but roll me let's see, roll me 46 on your wisdom.
That's a fail.
How bad?
By 3.
All right, so not too bad. You hear like maybe a twig or something break or a rock shift on the ground. As you turn around to look to see what it was or where it come from, you see this 4-foot humanoid standing there with this big mushroom bloomed out shoulders and head. It has eyes and a nose and a mouth looking at you. And maybe as soon as you're fixing to react to it, in its hand, it has this stuff that's dripping and drooping and all that, and this big thing of looks like mud or something in its hand, and it just takes it and throws straight into your face, and you hear as it starts running down your face, and you have just taken a big pile of fresh cow manure in your face, and you hear it start laughing and run off.
Oh, bother. I managed to avoid getting drenched by all that horse manure all night, and to have this happen in the morning. Oh, boy. Maybe things aren't looking up after all. He just sighs and sits down. He tries to find out, or recall what kind of creature he just encountered.
Yeah, would you have, Marasa, would you have gave that information earlier when you told Kendrick on his watch?
I told him mischievous forest spirits, and then I told him that the sons of their mushrooms were around.
Okay. Yeah, he realizes. This must be the forest spirit that Marasa was talking about. And then he just gets up and tries to find some water to wash his own face.
Yeah, as you're doing that, morning comes and the rest of you begin to wake up. And you don't see Kendrick inside to wake you up. You all naturally wake up yourselves. And Kendrick's nowhere to be seen at this point.
Joey, have you seen Kendrick? I woke him up last night for his shift.
He's probably still guarding. And I'll walk outside.
Jory, as soon as you begin to maneuver, walk outside the main door, the barn door, you get this strong stench and smell of fresh manure. It just hits your nostrils.
Oof. All right. I put my hand in front of my nose, and I look around.
Yeah, and you see over appears to be like a water trough with a hand pump on it. You can see Kendrick there fastly pumping water.
Oh. I nod my head knowingly. And then I walk back inside and I say, I think he had some kind of an incident while cleaning. And he's now washing himself.
Hope he didn't step in the manure. I did warn him about it.
Well, it was dark.
Yeah, true. And he doesn't seem the kind of person to be out at night usually.
Yes.
Dark grounds can be tricky to tread upon.
Indeed. So at that, I'm going to get my horse and armor and stuff ready, and then, well, actually, I guess we're going to eat first. So I'm not going to get my armor ready. I'm going to walk over to the house and see if I hear the halfling stirring.
Yeah, you all awaken and go over to the Nada's house, and sure enough, he has prepared this huge breakfast of these flapjacks and some type of syrup and fresh fruit and things. Just one of the greatest breakfasts you ever had.
Fantastic. I eat it. I'm going to tell them about the mushroom people and that they left mushrooms, and I wasn't sure if they were edible or not, so I didn't touch them.
Yeah, when you mention that to him, he says, those little boogers, they like playing tricks on people and doing things. I haven't seen them in several weeks, but usually what they do is they'll come in and at night in the barn and they'll take a bunch of Bessie's manure and like throw it against the wall, or they'll mix some of it up in the pigs' food, which of course the pigs like it anyway. They aren't smart enough to not know that. But yeah, they're little mischievous devils. They usually mean no harm, though.
Yeah. Mushrooms are often attracted to manure.
Well, they probably thought that I was the wall or the pig, because I had a fresh taste of that manure too. Those strange creatures came up to me as the day was about to break and threw something on my face. I realized what it was when it hit my face. It was the cow manure.
Yes. Yes, I also looked over the mushrooms and I couldn't tell if what they left was edible. I decided to leave them alone since they are mischievous creatures.
Yeah, speaking of feces-eating animal, this bacon tastes wonderful. And then he just forks, shovels it into his mouth.
Nada looks towards you.
Speaking of which,
Kenna, did you want to save some for second breakfast and take with you?
Oh, I'd love that. That would be great.
Well, just take whatever you want, and y'all have a merry trip on your way.
Wait a minute. Did you just say take whatever I want?
Well, food-wise, of course.
Oh, okay. I get confused sometimes.
Well, when you get up in age like you and I, it's not easy to do.
to thank you for your hospitality, Kendra took the liberty to clean your barn, and I've made up enough special ranger manure to hopefully cover your crops. So you should probably have a pretty good crop season this harvest.
Oh, well, thank you, kind one. That is very kind. What a kind-hearted person. You have the heart of a halfling.
Well, more also, well,
Not saying much.
Well, knowing Kana here, that means a great deal, I suppose.
Well, if he's from the Worm clan, he's got to be good.
Exactly.
He's good at something. So Jory will bless the homestead before we leave and thank him. And I think we should be off.
Yeah, and you maneuver on down the road, and about halfway through the day, sure enough, you start seeing the outline of the larger part of what you would know would be the Komor Forest. The road kind of circles and stays on the outline of the forest, and you would know that this is the western edge of the Komor Forest, and you would think just by time wise, probably late that afternoon, you'll probably arrive either in or close to Porter's Crown at that point. Nothing happens. You don't meet anybody either when you get close to the forest. There's no any type of road traffic or anything, and there's no farms in this area right here.
The western edge of Komor Forest. I've heard many tales about this location growing up. It's so wonderful to be able to see it with my own eyes for the first time. The wilderness here is quite delightful.
I was told to stay out of this forest. It's supposed to be a dangerous place, I suppose.
It's only dangerous to those who mean it harm.
As he says, what he's saying, you notice a large, quite fat orange cat, riding along with him on that horse. And he's feeding the cat some of the leftovers from the breakfast.
All right.
I noticed that you have a cat now.
Yeah, his name is Garfield. It's my friend. Say hi, Garfield. And the Garfield the cat looks at you with a very narrow slit of eyes, and he hisses. Sss.
Okay.
You didn't
Well-
steal it from my cousin, did you?
No, not at all. He's always hungry, that's all. You feed him some food and he'll be all right.
I see. So this is some kind of a familiar.
Oh, you know about that, right?
So you are a wizard.
Yeah. Whatever Garfield sees, I can see as well.
Very good. Very good.
The cat turns over, prompting the mage to rub its belly. He does so.
Oh, you really shouldn't rub a cat's belly. That's a trap waiting to happen.
And all of a sudden, the cat goes and scratches his head. Oh boy!
So do you guys expect us to hit any more of these mushroom people as we're in this forest? I mean, you said they're like forest spirits, right?
Yes, I've only heard of them in passing, and I never saw the people myself last night.
Well, it was quite a shock in the morning. Right before the sun rose, I turned around and the fellow was about your height, maybe. And instead of having a regular head, he had a mushroom. And the next thing I remember is... I don't want to repeat that.
Yes, well, they'll probably hang around the farm if I had to guess. I mean, they do like being in places where they can cause mischief. Besides, I'm sure the heat of the day is too much for mushroom men to be out and about right now. Mushroom prefer dark and damp places to grow.
Well, until this morning, I never knew that manure tastes a lot like grass.
Well, cattle do eat a lot of grass, so I suppose that does make sense.
Okay, then. And she moves a little bit away from the group.
Y'all continue on down the road. The road's in very good shape, and you travel for a while. You would know it's probably around 3 to 4 p.m. that afternoon, and like I say, the forest is on the western side of the road. The east side is just a mixture of flat land and sparse trees itself. But you maneuver in, you come kind of out into an opening, and you see a big wooden sign that says Porter's Crown just ahead. And you start noticing just past this sign, a good 100 feet, 200 feet past this sign, you start seeing what appears to be some farmland. And You probably notice that's some of the tillage of the farmlands from Porter's Crown that they tend to. But something you notice different about it is the fields seem to be kind of overgrown with maybe some grass and weeds and stuff. Maybe they haven't been tended to daily like they should have been.
Well, this doesn't bode well. Do we know, like, is there like a town center, or is it just a bunch of farms together?
You would know actually when you get into what's called Porter's Crown being a small hamlet, either you would know this or they would have told you, there's just a few sparse houses there. And then there's actually also a temple there that has a priest.
Okay. Well, I think that's where we would go. So seeing this, untended land, tell the party, I said, we should probably make haste to see the priest. It does look like something's not quite right here. And, I start moving towards the temple.
Yep, and as you continue on, the group does, you come back out of the untended fields, and it starts, having more overgrowth of the trees now as the open land is not there. And you would think you're getting pretty close to Porter's Crown. And as you do, everyone roll me a d6. If anybody gets a 1 or 2, let me know.
I got 2.
All right.
4.
Great.
Joy, are you leading the way?
Yeah, either me or Marissa.
Yeah, you're trying to make haste to find out what's going on, and you start hearing noises are just not what you would think. It's kind of a low screeching noise and just weird and strange noise. It's appearing to be coming from the crowns of the forest, of the trees there alongside the road.
Make haste, group. I hear evil planning in the forest. So I'm going to keep an eye, but I'm going to keep moving forward.
Stephen in the forest, can Marissa feel anything or sense anything?
No, you didn't notice this, and until Jory mentions it to you, and you don't get anything. You just hear, these noises, kind of like a low screeching noise, and just really strange noises that you wouldn't think would be from around this area at all.
As he runs behind Jory, he says, "Well, if there are any archers nearby aiming at us, just let me know. There's something that I can do to help you."
Very good. What you can do is stay to my side. Protect the halfling, Marissa. And I'll take the priest, the magic user up next to me.
Yes, protect the halfling.
All right, we're going to have Jory is riding up front with Kendrick, correct?
Yeah, so the forest is basically to my left, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much to the left of the main forest.
So I'll keep him like slightly to the right of me, so I'm kind of shielding him as much as possible.
All right.
And
Marassa, are you bringing up kind of the rear then?
Yeah, that'll be fine. And I'm staying high on my horse, staying alert, so as to not be surprised if there's something, definitely keeping my eyes peeled now.
Yeah, and you're not surprised when the screeching gets a little louder and you look to the trees, and about that point, as you do, you see these 5 small, medium-sized figures jump and lunge out of these trees towards the group. And everybody make a saving throw.
14. I made it.
If you fail, let me know. If you pass, no, you're okay.
I fail.
All right. Only one to fail then would be Marassa then.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, these figures hit you so hard and fast, even though they didn't surprise you as they jump out at you. We'll start you, Marasa, since you failed. This thing hit you full force into the chest, and you have been unmounted from your horse, knocked off your horse, and you look to see what has hit you, and all you see that these small to medium-sized baboons are on top of you, and they've got these mouths with these awful looking teeth and these awful looking claws as they're just clawing straight in towards you. And everybody else is able to stay on their mount. And we will roll initiative. So D12, add your dex mod if you have one, or minus it. I will come and get it from you here shortly. Seed. Canna, what did you get?
10.
All right. Marasa.
Also a 10.
Oh, nice.
All right, perfect. Jory.
I got 12 actually.
Wow, this is you're gonna be weird to hear all this. What about Kendrick then?
I got 1.
There we go.
You messed it up, Kendrick.
Yep, we knew that was going to happen. That'll be me the rest of the combat. I'm always back to initiative. I can't believe I get so hard this time.
And also, we're only going to do. We're not going to do each round initiative. This will be just a set initiative. So for like this battle, combat, whatever. Jory, you had the 12. So you see this wicked-looking baboon that is on top of you, fixing to try to claw and eat you. It appears.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is it's like in front of me, basically.
I mean, it's jumped on you and your horse, but
I mean, did it jump in front of me or on my back?
It's in front of you.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my dagger out from my waist, and then I'm going to grab it by the back of its neck, and I'm going to actually lunge off the horse so that my body, with my full plate mail armor, lands on top of it with the dagger between me and it. Hoping to jam that dagger into its gut. So that's my plan. We'll see what happens. That's the plan anyways. That would be an 11. No, +1, so 12.
Ooh, you're lucky. 12 hits.
Oh, okay. So I jam it with the dagger, which is I don't know if it does anything extra because of my weight or whatever, but 3 points.
All right. You take some blood starts pouring out of it, but it seems to be, it's kind of up at this point still, but you did do some damage to it. The baboons rolled an 11. So, Jory, we'll start with the one that's on you first, as it's going to try to bite into you, claw into you. And it is going to barely miss you as it tries to claw and bite into you to protect itself, but it's unable to. The one on you, Canna, is going to try to claw and bite into Canna. And it is going to just hit you, and you'll take 2 points of damage, Canna, as it bites into you and claws into you. The one on you, Marasa, let's see what it does. Whew. It's going to hit also, but you'll take 1 point of damage, Marasa, as you're down on the ground with this thing on top of you. And Kendrick, you and your cat are going to somehow be nimble enough to get completely out of the way on your horse.
Nice.
So now we go to Canna and Marasa, whoever wants to go.
Marasa, she will pull her dagger from her boot as she hits the ground, and she kind of like as she brings it up, it kind of like does one of those fancy like twirls like through the air, and then she grabs it and tries to stab into this baboon that's on her chest.
All right.
And I rolled let's see. That I probably don't hit. That's a total of 10 to hit.
Yeah, it's able to get out. It's got you off guard. It's dehorsed you like that, and you're able to get. I mean, it's able to get out of the way, and you're able to miss it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll slash at the baboon attacking me with my dagger, and that's a mess.
Okay.
That's
Kendrick, you can finish it out, man.
How many baboons are left? Are they
They're all. You see, if there's one on each of you at this point, is what you see. They are all up and still fighting.
Okay, he starts. He hops down from the horse and starts curling his fingers and closes his eyes and says, "Powers of magic be with me. Do as you will. Do as you will. Summon the phantasmal force and drive these creatures away." And then, as he does so, all these animals would see a large lion, lunge toward the group from far away.
You casting Phantasmal Force?
Yeah.
Let me read something about it real quick to see if they have any type of. Yep, let me see how they're going to react. You see three of them, kind of tremble back what appears to be in fear. And you see two of them, it appears at this point has no effect on them at all. We'll do this random. Let's see. Jory, the one is still on you, and Marasa, the one is still on you. The other three appear to be kind of getting back away from this big lion that has appeared. As we go back to you, Jory is the one that's still on you.
Okay, so I'm gonna, because I'm right on the ground next to my horse. I'm gonna actually, because I'm on top of it, right? So actually, I'm still able to bite me. So I'm gonna actually stand up and draw my sword, because now that I'm on the ground, and I'm gonna swing down and try to chop it in half.
All right.
Yeah. 20 on the die.
Oh, it's a nat 20?
Nat 20, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just tell me how you destroy it, then.
Okay. So I even leave the dagger in it after I stabbed it, and I just stand up, and it's on the ground. It's gnawing and screaming, and I just reach behind me and draw the two-handed sword out of the sheath on my horse. So it's like this long draw, and I bring it down and just slice it as it's just about to jump up and jump onto my chest again. I slice its skull right in half.
Yeah, and it just what's left of it just falls down and just the one the one that's on Coma, and Kendrick, you see it, they run back off in the forest, and then out of the glen of your eye, you see another one that was kind of hiding. It was waiting its turn to do something. You see it run off into the forest. The one on you, Marasa, is up next as it's still in the battle, and it's going to try to claw into you again, and it will miss you. And we are up to you, Marasa, you and Canna.
Okay. So it's still on me?
Yeah, it just tried to bite and claw into you and missed you.
All right, I'm going to just attempt to just to stab it with my dagger again, trying to get it off me, I guess, kind of. That's on a 17 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
1 point of damage.
How much?
1 point.
Yeah, I mean, you stab into it, but it's still there. Canna, if you want to make a attack on the one that just fled from you, you can, and you can have a +2 to hit on that as it's running off in the forest. If you want to, you don't have to.
That's a 14.
Yep, 14 hits.
And that's 1 point.
Yep, you poke it in the tail as it runs off into the forest.
Take that.
And Kendrick, if you want to do something else as the one that runs off from you as it's running back in the forest, you can. If you make a melee attack, it's +2 to hit.
Just realized that I was muted. Yeah, he just raises his hand and acts like looks at the phantasmal lion that he's created and says, "Run, baboons! There's a lion chasing us! Run!" And then just gestures wildly to add on to the effect of fear that's driving these creatures away.
Yeah, and as you do that, the only one that is still there that seems to be toe-to-toe with Marasa, it is going to take off and flee. As it does, Marasa, if you want to have a free attack on it as it runs off.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll try and stab it before it can run away. No, I missed.
All right. You see them all flee back into the forest, and just the leaves and everything settle back down, the tree canopies and stuff, but you just see them kind of like disappear back into the forest, all of them. You have the one dead one laying at Jory's feet. The other four have fled back into the forest, and still hear these kind of a low screeching, but it's not like on top of you like it was.
Uh,
I'm gonna pull my dagger out of this dead one and wipe off the blood on its hair, and I'm gonna say we should probably move before they regain their courage. Well done, mage.
Oh, you saw through my trick, did you? Yeah, it's
I
an
heard you
illusion.
say it. Next time, probably if there's people around, you shouldn't say the spell that you're casting.
Yeah. Well, it worked this time. I figured that the baboons wouldn't understand us.
Marasa will clean off her blade as well. She wants to move over to the monkey thing that's dead on the ground and see if she can identify what it is.
Yeah, and right before you do that, Kendrick, are you going to drop concentration and let the lion go when you spell?
He's actually going to hold it for a little while. Well, I still hear the screechings from the forest, so I don't know how long I can hold this.
Yeah, we want to get out of here.
Yeah, you're able to concentrate on it, man. Marasa, as you go over and look at the one that's been mutilated up by the paladin and look at the pieces of what's left, you don't even have to roll or anything. You've never seen any type of baboon in the forest area from where you're at all like this.
This is a mysterious creature. I've never seen it. Certainly unnatural. Certainly something that shouldn't be around here. It could upset the delicate nature of the ecosystem.
So this isn't like your forest spirits, right?
I didn't say that. I said it's a creature I've never seen.
Why is its bum blue?
Some baboons' bums turn red whenever they intend to mate.
Oh. She blushes.
This is something like that.
She kind of...
Yeah, and as y'all investigate, and Kendrick has the fearsome lion protecting you, the screeches start getting lower and lower, and it seems like they just quieten completely down to nothing at this point.
We should get to safety. It's never good when the forest goes quiet.
Good plan. So we mount up.
You continue on the road for just maybe minutes, a minute or two. You can continue along, and you come across kind of a curve in the road that curves back around to the north. And sure enough, you see at this point, you see what appears to be several houses on the left, on the west side of the roadway that you're traveling along. And as you peer and look up, further up, about 4 houses down on the left, you see a house that's sitting on the right. You don't see any activity in the street or around the houses. It appears to be quiet, so there's no activity or humans or anything moving about.
We don't see the temple yet? That's where I'm going. So I'll pass the houses.
Yeah, you see at the end what appears to be on further. Maybe from where you're at, you can see about 5 houses that are on the left side. But at the end, it appears to be kind of at the end of this paved road. You would think is a larger building, and you would probably think that is the temple or kind of a tower.
Okay. Well, that's where I think we should go, guys. So I just continue to head towards it, unless anybody else wants to stop at the houses.
I shall follow your lead. The safety of a hollowed ground might be good if these are indeed evil forest spirits.
Indeed. And most towns know to assemble in the largest building whenever they're under siege, so we could find the whole town there. Or at least information.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yep, and let's take us about a 5 minute battle break as y'all start to maneuver into what you would know as the hamlet of Porter's Crown. We'll come back and see where that leads us.
Perfect.
I'm back.
All right, I'm back.
I'm still here.
Yep, and I see Crystal's back
I'm also here.
and Daniel, so we're waiting on the halfling. Hey, Crystal, on that Morgan's Fort, is there like a deal that you're going to put up for us to like gives us some background or history on that area so we can kind of know the general setting of it?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that. I guess I could either just copy the information directly from the book, like directly from the PDF or whatever, or try to just screenshot the page. But I'm afraid, like, if I just screenshot the page, you won't be able to read it because the text is kind of small.
Oh yeah, I'd rather have a PDF if you can put a PDF of it up.
Yeah. Let's see what I can do because I don't know if I can just copy like just a page from like a PDF and copy that into.
Well, all you got to do is just print. If you use Foxit or whatever, just all you got to do is just print that single page instead of sending it to a printer. You just print a PDF page of it.
Okay.
Just something. One reason I was asking Daniel and I were talking about it because that may to kind of give an idea maybe of what type of character to make for that would fit this setting or whatever.
Yeah, because like the clerics and stuff are like the clerics are really the only thing that they have anything that's like because like the gods and stuff. Past that, like fighters and stuff will mostly all be the same. It's also like a very male-centric land, like one of those where like in most of the cleric groups, like women are not allowed to be clerics. There's only like a few cleric groups where there can be women, and then they're rare in those groups. So,
Are you gonna get to play young in it?
Yeah. I saw the invitation. I joined this afternoon, but I didn't really have time to go through it. I was out there with the kids. So.
Yeah, Chris, you put the game actually for today, so I don't know if you noticed. I wrote in the thing. I'm already in a game with you.
Yep.
yeah. That was a mistake then.
Yeah.
Change that.
Oh, she didn't tell you, Daniel. As soon as we finish this one, we're jumping straight into that one.
Oh, we're playing it right now. We don't even know it.
We're gonna have a all-nighter. All right. Is you a 4%?
Yeah, tonight's going to be the session 0 for Morgan.
Huh. As you 4 proceed, when you go past the first house, the one on the left, this is what you're going to observe, just so you'll know. You see the door to this house. They're all small houses, at least the first few are, and you see the front door has been completely just bashed in. I mean, it's just hanging by the hinges. As you get up to where the second one is, it's on the left of where you're traveling. The front door is secure and all that, but you see part of the thatched roof. You see part of it appears to be having heavy damage to its thatch and stuff has been pulled and stuff. And what you really notice from it along one of the roof beams, you see one of those dead baboons hanging from one of the roof beams. And you notice that it has 2 arrows buried deep into it.
Well, that's less than ideal for us.
If you continue on,
It's less than ideal for the baboons. If we are not baboons, we should be fine.
you continue on when you reach up to the path of the third house to the left and you look at it, you see 2 of those baboons that are lying dead in the yard. But what really, I guess, would shock you is the human male that is dressed in leather armor as he's laying there dead in his yard with one of his arms has been completely detached from the body, and the arm is laying about 5 foot away from the body and appears to be holding some type of warhammer in it.
Jeez.
Continuing on to the next house, it appears to be a little bit larger house, maybe 1.5 times size bigger than these first 3 that you just passed by. You hear a bunch of screeching and noises coming from what appears to be inside of the house, a closed door. Go ahead, Crystal. You broke up.
Never mind. I was going to do something, but I decided against it.
Oh, okay. You're getting closer to what appears to be the temple and kind of like a tower, maybe together, the largest part of the village. But the last house that you notice on the left, it appears everything appears to be secure, but you see an area of the roof on the front of the roof is kind of a blackened color, maybe like there was maybe a fire that was there, but it's all blackened out. But you notice 3 of those baboon corpses are laying outside in your yard.
So it seems like a lot of these forest spirits, they're forest spirits, right?
Well, baboons aren't forest spirits, no.
Okay.
And the forest spirits can take the shape of anything.
Like baboons.
But also, I believe forest spirits typically tend to disintegrate once they die.
So, Dame Jory, what do you think has happened here?
It seems to me that some force of evil is creating some animosity amongst the animals, and they are attacking civilization.
Could be the work of some kind of a evil druid.
These are not natural animals. I've never seen anything like them. If these are indeed animals of this forest, they have been twisted by evil.
Well, we should still try to seek out the priest. So I'm going to actually call out. I'm going to yell from the center of the town. I'm going to say, "Civilians, we have come to rescue you from the evil that has befallen you. Come forth." Got plan.
All right.
A paladin way to do stuff like that.
The mage.
You get no response as of yet. Any reply from anybody?
The mage tugs on the sleeves of Marasa and says, "Ranger Marasa, do you think it'll be a good idea for me to find a weapon? You think I might have to fight or something here?"
Sure. Here, hold on to my dagger. She'll pull up her boot and hand it to you.
His hand shakes. He's visibly shaken, and you hear his teeth chatter as he takes the dagger.
Attempt to stay calm. Perhaps you won't need to use it.
He nods.
The last couple of things that you notice as you're getting closer and closer to what you would think is the temple and this tower building, the house that is on the right, the only house you've seen on the right, it appears the whole wall section of the house has just been knocked down and almost destroyed. You see 6 dead baboon bodies that are laying along the edge of this wall and outside close in the yard that you notice. One other thing you notice past the last house where you've seen the blackened roof and all that, on past it kind of in that area there, you see what appears to be like an ancient monolith. It has like these faded runic etchings on it. But what's the weirdest thing about it that you notice about it appears there's like all these flowers, bouquets of flowers and things have been placed there. And there's like these plates and bottles of food and drinks and things. It doesn't appear like they've been disturbed or messed with, just more or less untouched. And that is directly away from the tower and the temple itself. But this is what you hear as you get closer to the tower, and you've called out, giving out your call for aid, Jory, that you did. You start hearing the low screeching and noises that are coming from that tower as you see these big, huge doors that are standing kind of not all the way open, but enough that, you could walk in. There's 2 doors to go into it. They're open enough that you hear these noises and screechings and stuff coming from the tower.
Tony, you said that there is some sort of a monolith?
Yeah, would be to the left of the temple and the tower, probably We'll say, let's see, 10, 20, 30, about 50 foot away from it is where the monolith is.
How large is that monolith?
It's not very large. I mean, it's it's large enough to notice it and stuff. I mean, it appears to probably very old and been there for some time.
Are there any writings on it?
It does have some, looks like faded runic etchings and stuff on it. And of course, from where you can't see it that close from where you're at right now. But
Kendrick says, hold on a moment, my friends. It seems like there's some sort of a writing back here.
Yeah, Marasa also sees this, and she says, "Yes, I agree." Jory, I'm going to go check out that strange altar.
So the mage approaches it and tries to see if he could decipher the language.
Marasa would like to do the same, or at least back him up.
yeah, both of you can do 3d6 on your intelligence.
He makes it.
Yeah, I make 3, 6, 7, 8, 8 under 14.
Yeah, you both are reading them and looking at them, and like I say, you notice all these bouquets of flowers. Some of them are faded, and of course, they've been there for some time. The plates of food and the bottles of water and ale and stuff. As you get closer, you can see, none of it's been disturbed, but it's the food is starting to mold and stuff. It's probably been sitting there for some time, but you can tell this monolith probably has something to do with the actual temple itself. That it appears that it's involving the god of the harvest, which you would know is one of the deities here that is well served, and I'm sure Jory would know something about it too. But I mean, it's nothing bad. It appears that this is set up for the temple and that they worship the god of the harvest here.
This is an altar set up for Manasa, the god of the harvest.
Yeah, I see it too. It says it right here. And then he points to the passage that says God of Harvest.
Is there anything twisted or off about this altar?
Before I answer that, Canna, you and Jory, did y'all stay closer to the doors of the temple where you hear the screeching?
Yeah, I'm hanging with John.
Yeah, I'm.
Jory.
Yeah. I was gonna say that. I'm watching those doors to see if anything comes out.
Nothing comes out. You're still hearing the noises and the screeching coming from inside. The one thing that you hear, both of you hear all of a sudden, is like a scream that you would know from coming from a human that's in pain.
Inside the church?
Yep, come from inside the temple.
Okay, then I lower my lance and I run my horse right through the front door. I'm a paladin.
Awesome.
I'm imagining a big double door temple.
yeah, it's a big double door, but it was partially open anyway. So as you start riding straight into this temple, before I tell you what you see, we jump back to Marasa and Kendrick. No, nothing appears to give you any type of unease about anything on this monolith.
It doesn't seem to be twisted in any way by any kind of evil. Jory is heading into the temple. Quickly, let us follow her.
Did you hear that scream?
Y'all would not have heard it from where y'all were at, but you would see Jory take off towards the temple doors on her horseback.
We better follow him.
Yeah. And Marasa will... she'll ride her horse towards the front of the doors, and once she starts getting there, she's going to dismount from her horse so that she can run in. She'll pull her bastard sword from her back.
All right. Jory, we come back to you as you are the first to burst through the temple. This is what you're going to observe, and I will describe it to you. You observe several of those baboons that are in a group here. You see one of these baboons.
I'll text you every hour, I promise.
You see one of these baboons that is nearly the double the size of the other ones. It's covered in like this bluish, grayish fur. You see all these jagged horns that are erupting from its back, its head, its forehead, and stuff as it's closer up there. And you see what the pain, the scream is coming from as it's reaching out and grabbing what appears probably to be the priest, the way he's dressed, as he is hanging upside down from one of the beams of the ceiling there. And this baboon, whatever it is reaching out and grabbing its leg and pulling it and letting go as it's swinging back and forth. As you burst in, this is what you see.
Oh, like it's toying with them. Well, I'm going to run my lance through its face.
Towards that baboon, okay?
Hell yeah.
Everybody roll initiative. The only ones up there right now is going to be Jory and Cannon. I'll come get your initiative here in a moment. Oh, that's weird. Cannon, what did you get?
Power 2.
Nice.
How about Marasa?
Hey,
I'm going to bump you up to 9, Marasa, for a reason. What about Jory?
I got 10. 9 plus 1.
All right. And what about Kendrick?
1.
Oh, man.
But again.
All right, Jory, you are leading us out with a 10 then as you burst in and see these figures there. And as you get a quick glance before you start running into what appears to be the leader of these baboons, you think you see 6 of the smaller ones that are in there with it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I charge right past them. I mean, hopefully trampling them if they're in my way with the warhorse. But my plan is to jam the leader with the javelin.
Yeah, and you can do that add plus 2 to hit since you're doing the charge.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so that gives me 19 total.
Oh, let me find his little card. I know that's going to hit, but let me find his little card here. Yeah, you were able to lance straight into this thing as he was moving over maybe to grab out that priest again and swing him.
Nice. Max damage. 9 points.
Woo, okay.
Nice.
Jam the lance into the creature with my full steed of the warhorse. Probably losing the lance inside of it.
Yeah, you see the horns on it just start turning like a reddish color and its eyes turning red as it looks towards you and lets out this hideous scream that you have never heard. Just a demonic, loud scream. Marasa, this turn you're going to be getting ready to go into the temple and getting your sword, like you said. The 6 baboons that are in the temple are going to, let's see. You've kind of caught them off guard in a way, Paladin, but you see 2 of them rush towards your horse and are going to appears to try to dehorse you, pull you off your horse. So make me a saving throw.
Okay. Come on, baby. 20.
All right.
I could use that in combat, but that's still good.
Yeah, they are able not to get you off your horse, but it appears like they're now trying to dig their claws into your horse. I wonder what horse stats are. Probably, we'll say armor class. Has it got any armor?
Yeah, I mean, it would have like barding or whatever.
We'll say 12, armor class 12 then?
That seems about right. Yeah.
I wonder how many HP a horse would have. Probably 2 HD, would say.
Yeah, it's only like a regular warhorse, so it probably has, I'd say 2 HD.
Yeah, you can roll its HP real quick then, and I'll. One of them will dig into it a hit for 4 points of damage.
Ouch.
The other one misses it.
So it has 2, so that gives it a total of 13. And it took, we want to keep track of it, so it took 4, you said?
Yep, 4 points.
Okay, so horse, AC 12, and 13 hit points, but it took 4. Okay, ouch. Okay.
Yeah, the other 4 are just startled and caught off guard. They don't know what to do at this point. They seem to be waiting on maybe instructions or something else to turn their attention to. We come up to the demon baboon that you just lanced through as it just lunges straight at you also, Paladin. And
Bring it.
the first attack is going to try to get you with its claws. It will miss. Then it tries to take one of these horns and just, like you did, drive this horn straight through you. And it misses also.
Nice.
It just screams out, and these demonic words are coming out of its deal. Kenna, you are able to do something as you hear some type of battle going on inside.
I will grab my short sword and go charging in. Tried to scream a very proud and brave battle cry, but it actually comes out as hysterical.
All right. You see what was described earlier. You see two of these baboons appear being trying to pull a paladin off a horse, but drag it, putting their claws into the horse, and you see this hideous looking that you've never seen in your life that's attacking the paladin, but you see four more of the regular baboons are screeching and hollering, and you see the priest, what you would think would be the priest, is hanging and bloodied from the rafters upside down. What do you want to do?
I will charge at the ones attacking the horse.
All right. You can attack one of them.
That is a 5.
Well, you are going to miss with a 5.
I think so. I scream even louder.
Oh, God.
Kendrick, you're able to maneuver up and get close to the area now. That's pretty much all y'all can do since y'all were a little bit of ways as we go up to Jory again.
Okay, I'm gonna, since my lance, I'm imagining with maximum damage after a charge probably jammed into this thing and snapped. I'm gonna draw my two-handed sword, which was handed down to my father from his father, and his father from his father. And I pull it out, and it has a soft glow of blue with the magic aura as I swing with a 12, 13, 14.
14 will hit it. The demon?
The demon. Yep. And the two-handed sword does a d10. 10 plus 1 for the magic. Oh, 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 points.
Wow, okay. Man, you do some max damage to this thing as it just screams out these hideous yells again, just piercing through your ears. All of you that are coming from outside hear it too, of course. And speaking of that, Marasa, you hear this hideous screaming coming from inside as you're up to the doors now.
Thank you.
Okay. So I come in with my broadsword. I guess I see these baboon things now.
Yeah, you see. I can describe it again if you need it. If you want me to.
No, that's fine. Are there any torches or anything like that around?
No, you don't see any torches or anything inside right now.
Okay, if I wanted to light up a torch of my own, how long would that take?
What are you wanting to do? And then I'll tell you if you can do it also this round.
I just want to simply grab a torch from my bag and light it up.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wanting to actually.
Beasts are typically tend to be afraid of fire.
Yeah, I mean, you're able to do that, but
Be able to, use as an offhand weapon, more or less.
Yeah, you're able to do that, no problem.
Okay, so that's what I'm doing this turn.
All right, fine. The baboons themselves that y'all had encountered earlier, you're going to see the two that are on the horse. They turn their attention back towards the paladin, trying to claw into you that you have caused so much problem to their master, it would seem. And one of them will hit with a 19, but only 1 point of damage, paladin.
My armor is protecting me well.
The other four are two of them are going to take off running towards you, little halfling, and trying to take care of you. Oh my gosh, they both rolled terrible. They both miss. Kenna, you're able to dodge and duck out of the way somehow as they both miss you. The other two are coming. The only other thing they see is you, Marasa, as you've come in and lighting up this torch. They're running towards you. One of them will hit for 4 points of damage. The other one misses. Marasa. The demon baboon is going to try to continue its toe-to-toe as you've completely hurt it bad, paladins. So the first attack is with the claws.
Bring it.
To miss. It tries to drive one of these horns into you again.
Doesn't seem very good.
Wow, this misses again. Both of them. Kenna, we are up to you as you've got two of them on you now.
I'm going to scream very loud and just slash out. That is a 12.
Yep, a 12 hits one of the regular baboons.
And that's 5 points.
Tell me how you kill that one.
Well, it's just it's a hysterical slash. So as Kenneth closes his eyes and slashes outwards, it just catches the baboon across the throat, and there's this blood spray that goes everywhere.
Yeah, and it's just an awful stench, kind of like the stench you heard coming out of the barn, the smell coming out of the barn that morning. It's awful as it falls down dead at your feet. Kendrick, you come into the door and see all this madness and mayhem going on.
His eyes grow wide and his hands shake as he lifts up his fingers and starts casting something. He says, powers of magic be with me. Do as you will. Do as you will. Charm this baboon to fight for us. And he charms person on the baboon that his friend Kana was fighting. The other one that's standing.
Yeah, the other one that is standing there next to Kana, you see it just shake its head as it appears to be shaking it off, and it has no effect on it.
Uh-oh.
Jory, we are back to you now.
Okay. Feeling the power of the Holy Spirit in her, she takes the two-handed sword, swings down at the evil demon. Oh my God! Natural 20 again.
All right.
His eye is on fire. I think this is the one I use when I'm a DM. I never roll.
Today is the day of holy smiting.
Holy shit! I should always play a paladin. Yes, I rolled a 20. That's going to hit, I'm sure.
Yep.
Okay, and but that time only 6 points of damage, which is still good, but not max.
It screams out a hideous scream again, and you smell that awful smell of whatever type of blood is in its bloodstream come out. It has an awful smell to it. It's not even appears to be human, you would think, but it's still up.
Back to hell, demon.
Marasa, you have 2 of them on you.
Yeah, Marasa, she finally gets her torch lit, and she brings it up in her hand and kind of swings it a bit, like she's not trying to hit them. She's more like trying to get them to back off. And then with her broadsword in her other hand, she'll actually swing to try and hit one of these things.
All right.
Whichever one actually looks. Are either of them like hurt right now, or
No, but the 2 on you have not been damaged by anybody.
okay? All right. I rolled this D8, but then I accidentally kind of picked it up, so I don't know what I actually landed on. So I'm going to roll it again.
All right.
And that's 2 damage. Oh, and it was like a dirty 20 to hit. So.
Oh yeah, all you need is a 12 on the regular baboon. So you take 2 damage. Yeah, it's still standing, but you do some damage to one of them.
Okay.
The regular baboons will start with the 2 on you, Jory, as they're still trying to save their master, it would appear. One of them is going to hit with a 19, and you'll take 4 points of damage from it as it claws into you.
That's more than the demon.
The other one misses. There's only 1 left on you, Kana. It's going to try to stay and dig into you because its master's still going. Oh man, a 19. You'll take 2 points of damage, Kana, as it digs into you. The 2 on you, Marasa. One of them's going to hit for 1 point of damage. Oh no, I'm sorry, both of them hit. One of them hit you right on your AC. So 1 plus 3, so 4 points of damage total, Marasa.
Foul beast.
The leader, the demon horn one, is going to stand and hopefully try to get the paladin down first. We'll see. It tries to claw into you first with a 19.
It's
Ooh, that's max damage too with the claw 5.
oosh. Okay, now I'm hurt a lot.
The horn, he rolled a natural 20.
Oof.
But listen to this, 1 point of damage.
Solid hit, just not in a weak spot.
Yep.
All
It
right.
tries to horn you, but its lance wasn't as good as yours.
Ka-ting.
Anna, we're up to you as you still have 1 on you.
Screaming mightily because I'm not sure where all this blood is coming from. I just know I got hit and there's blood everywhere. I just close my eyes again and lunge and wildly swing at the baboon in front of me. And that's a 12.
Yep, that hits him.
That's 6 points.
Oh, man. Kenner, I don't know. You're on fire. Tell me how you destroy this one.
I wish I knew because my eyes were closed. Yes, just with the wild swings, there's a bone crunching as actually the flat of the sword comes in on the side of the head and shatters the skull.
Yep, it's down. There's none by you right now. Kendrick, you see this mayhem going on as you tried to hopefully get one of them on your side, but it appeared to shaking it off as it had no effect on it at this point.
Oh, what should I do? What should I do? His hands are shaking, and he has that dagger in his hand. Is there any baboon that's still standing, attacking one of his party members?
Yeah, the closest ones to you would probably be to Joy. There's two that are. I'm sorry, not Joy. Marasa. There's two still in Marasa. One of them's been injured.
Oh, hell with it! And he actually throws the dagger at one of the creatures.
All right.
Okay, I believe that's a dex, right?
Yeah, if you got a dex mod and just a d20 plus dex mod.
Okay, dex doesn't have any dex mod. Got 13.
Yeah, 13 hits it.
And it's is it 1d6 minus
1d4 for a dagger.
1d4. Where is the 1d4? Sorry about that, guys. There we go. He does 3 points of damage.
Roll me a d6 to see if you hit the one that's injured or uninjured, and I'll let you know.
I got 3.
Tell me how you finish that one off. As a dagger, it had 3 HP left.
Yeah. He throws the whole thing, but the blade actually bounces off the floor because he totally misses it. But luckily, it ricochets off the floor and embeds itself in the throat of the creature.
Marasa, you see this miraculous throw of this dagger from Kendrick as it takes down one of the foes on you. And Jory, we're back up to you as you're in a toe-to-toe with this demon baboon.
All right, so realizing that the ones on me now are actually going to have a chance because one of them caused a very decent amount of damage to me, I'm going to actually swing down sideways and try to take out one of the regular baboons.
All right.
To just knock it out. 13, 14,
yep,
15.
That hits. You need a 12 on them.
12 on them, and then 11 points of damage, max damage.
Oh my God! It had 5. So tell me how you just.
Yes, so I've been fighting the demon in front of me, but that one bit my leg and it tore a piece of the plate out, and I started to bleed. So I just swing the sword down backwards and stab it through the baboon. Get off me, you beast! And I just stab it through and it falls to the ground.
Yes, it does. Marasa, what would you like to do? You have 1 on you now.
Yeah, Marasa didn't see the miraculous throw. She only sees the dagger hit the baboon, and the baboon hit the ground. So she quickly spins, again, waving her torch at the other baboon, trying to distract it, trying to get it back off. And then she, brings her broadsword behind the torch as she attempts to hit the creature with her broadsword.
All right.
Oh, 12 to hit?
Yep, 12 hits him.
Nice. Max damage, 8 damage.
How do you destroy the last one on you then?
So it kind of backs off when it sees the flame being a beast. It's, of course, afraid of them, and so I follow through with a broadsword strike, perfectly cleaving down on between its shoulder and its neck, and as I pull the sword, its artery is cut, and it just begins to quickly bleed out, and it's sort of like it stands there still for a moment. Like it doesn't really understand what's happened to it. And then slowly the life leaves its eyes and it collapses to the ground as blood pulls around it.
It does, and it is lifeless as you say. We go to the one baboon, regular baboon that y'all can see that is still standing. And Jory, you just took down its mate, so it's not happy as it lunges. Ooh, with a 5, it's not going to hit you, of course. The demon baboon is very pissed off now as you're taking down his minions, and you're about to take him down, I would think, but it's going to try to claw into you and to bite you, or horn you, I mean. Wow. The claw misses bad. The horn misses by 1.
Oh, the wow was either usually a sad miss or a natural 20, so I'm always like, oh.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a bad miss, and then the horn missed by 1 on your AC, luckily. But we're back to you. There's nobody on you. You see one of these regular baboons sing by Jory, and you see this hideous one that's attacking Jory too. You also, of course, like I say, had noticed this human priest that is hanging upside down, covered in blood, but appears to be still alive.
I'm thoroughly convinced that I'm bleeding out and I'm going to be dying shortly. I charge the demon one.
Nice. Do it.
Do it. Here we go. Oh my God, natural 20.
Yeah.
Tell me what you do that has got you so pumped up that you just run by and take away the paladin's kill as you finish off the demon baboon and had 2 HP left.
Nice.
I just throw my entire body weight behind it as I plunge the short sword blade deep into its chest, and then just hang with my body as it drags down its belly, spilling the intestines everywhere.
It is a hideous smell that comes out of that too, from this thing that is not natural at all.
Wow.
The other baboon, Jory, and of course you and Canna would notice it first, but you see it, and it takes off running out the door. If anybody would like to have an attack on it, of course you can, but it's running away.
Yeah, I'm going to attempt to, because I mean, I don't think these creatures should be around here. So yeah, I'm definitely going to attempt to hit it one last time.
All right, sure. Anybody can have it if you're doing a melee or missile. It don't matter to me.
No, I barely missed with an 11.
This is the one that was right next to me?
Yeah, you can have
like
one
that before I took off? Okay.
Yep.
So, 17 will hit it, right? So
yeah, you just tell me how you finish it. It's not.
yeah, so it makes that like kind of cry that that it's exclaiming before it turns around, and while it like is kind of like screeching, I just like chop its head off, and it falls dead. And then I look at the halfling who just killed me, and I say, "Well done." And I remove my holy symbol from around my neck, which is quite valuable in silver, and I put it on the halflings over the halflings. Neck.
I faint away.
You hear a coughing and wheezing coming from the priest, and blood kind of running down his mouth, and he goes, "Oh, thank you. I thought I would die soon."
Yeah.
Marasa,
Go ahead.
Marasa will pull her dagger from the neck of that thing, and she'll look at Kana. I mean, not Kana. The wizard, Mark the Great, and say, "Nice throw, Mark." And then she'll look over at Jory to make sure Jory is going to catch the priest, and begin and get ready to like throw her dagger at the rope that's holding his feet.
You just throw it.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Yeah, I walk up and support the priest.
Yep, you can do that. No problem. You get the priest down.
Yeah, at the same time, I say a prayer, and I'm going to use my lay on hands on the priest and heal him.
Yes, and then he, of course, realizes that what you are and all that, and he goes, "Let me catch my breath, and I'll try to explain what. I don't really know what happened, but I can explain the best. I think I know what happened." And as you give him lay on hands and give him some water, and he comes back to the best he can. He explains to you that they were having a midsummer ceremony at the monolith about 2 weeks ago for the harvest and the crops, the last of the crops of summer. And he said he was performing some type of midsummer rite, and it evidently he thinks that maybe he said some wrong words, or he did something, incantations or something that wasn't right, because all of a sudden all the ruins started flashing vibrant red and blue, and just this whoom, like a whoom, big burst of air knocked him back down to the ground. And when it did, he woke up and saw the demon baboon standing over him, and it just knocked him out and drug him back into the temple, and has been helplessly playing with him all this time. And all these other baboons showed up, and he said he heard the screams coming from the village, but there was nothing he could do. He knows that they just attacked and destroyed the village.
Wow.
Do you have the records of these rituals again? We might be able to find a way to reverse this summoning. These creatures cannot stay in this land. It is not nature's order.
It is something that once let me get back to 100%, and yes, I'll be glad to assist you, and we can do that.
Yeah. I look at the group, and I look up at my horse, and on the side, strapped to my saddlebag, is a shovel. And I grab the shovel, and I start to remove my armor, and I say, we have a lot of work to do, and I'm going to go out and start to collect the dead.
I would like to take notes of these creatures as much as I can, making drawings and such of them. Something to be able to bring back to the ranger knights, something they may be able to use or something.
Yep, you can do that. And as we wrap up, pretty much, as you start going out and getting the bodies and trying to help secure the town, the village back the best it can, the second house on the left, the one that had the roof damage and the dead baboon hanging with the arrows, you see a human woman come out of it with two small children. She has this long bow and arrows as she comes out, hearing all of you speak and talk now. And she tells you basically that the baboons come in and try to attack her, and she holed up in her house, and every time one would come in, she would shoot it with her bow and arrow. The other houses have what's left of corpses of some of the townsfolk. Let's see which house it was. The fifth house, the last one had the no, it wasn't the fifth one. Hold on. Well, we'll say this fifth one. It doesn't matter. You find another young child that was hiding in like a cupboard that comes out and is said that he's famished and no food or drink because he's been hiding there for this full 2 weeks. But one of the village ladies and her two children and this other child are the only survivors you find besides the priest. And the priest, after he gets better, he helps you with that. But he also tells you that the demon baboon was able to speak to him in common, and that it looked at him and this howling laughter said, "Priest, you have done me a favor by summoning me, and I grant you your life for that. Now I will wait until my master arrives."
Oh. Well, that's less than appealing to us.
As customary in my games, this pretty much wraps up the adventure that I titled Purge in Porter's Crown. Mike, we'll start out with Canna. Tell me how the story is going to end for Canna.
Kenna's going to, after he comes to again, he's going to look at this holy symbol that has been placed around his neck, and believes that since he is an honest thief and an honest liar, that he should now become an honest paladin. Because he is a demon slayer now too, and so he will trail behind Jory, trying not to be a nuisance, but trying to be the best acolyte that he can be to her.
Perfect. Crystal, what about Marasa? How is the story going in for her?
Well, once they perform a ritual to attempt to reverse whatever happened here and hopefully seal away some of these baboons, she will return to where she knows the Ranger Knight, local Ranger Knight order to be, and she will pass on her notes about the ritual and the creatures and stuff that were drawn up. She'll tell them what the preacher said as well about this baboon was apparently waiting for his master, and she will leave it to them to decide what happens next. Hopefully, they will use her again in the future, and she can continue to prove herself to one day be worthy of being a Ranger Knight.
All right, perfect. Daniel, how would it end for the paladin known as Jory?
So Jory is quite happy to take on, an apprentice, and they travel, after handling the dead here and staying a little bit to make sure that, the town's as safe as possible, or possibly even moving those people to a more populated area until they can get some more people out there, because a woman and 3 children and a priest is probably not enough to support the town. She continues to travel the land, spreading good and the tales of the tiniest demon slayer to ever live.
All right, great. Yang, what about the mighty dagger thrower Kendrick?
Kendrick's going to be following around the mighty demon slayer, Kana, for a little while. He returns back to the Baron's household, and the Baron actually allows him to serve him as the mage and scribe of, one of the mage and scribe of the noble's house. He stays there, and he's in the library flipping through some of the books to research what exactly happened in this town of Porter's Crown. But a picture on one of the book catches his eyes. He pulls it out and reads the cover, and it says, "The Last Unicorn." And he says, interesting. And then that would be the last scene for our mage, Kendrick.
All right, perfect. Before I tell you how the story ends, once again, this was played using Swords and Wizardry Complete. And the adventure that I named Purge and Porter's Crown is actually the Demon Baboon of Porter's Crown, written by Tim Shorts of Gothridge Manor. Daniel will be very familiar with that.
Nice.
And it is his entry into the one-page dungeon contest this year. But that's the gist of the adventure was taken from that adventure and changed somewhat to my, I used his setting of the forest and all of that and actual names and stuff, but of course added and changed some things to fit mine. But now I will tell you how the story is really going to end. Y'all are able to do the things that you say you do. Jory, you help priest, his name was Peter. You're able to help Peter and the woman named Kimberly and the children back. They actually go back to the barren city, to find out what they're going to do about trying to get more settlers or something to get the settlement of Porter's Crown going, because it's very valuable to the area. And so the village is empty for, several days, several weeks. Late one evening, a thunderstorm starts coming across the sky. And lightning starts flashing, thunder, some rain starts falling, pitter-pattering down into the village, the quiet village with all the bodies of the baboons and everything have been disposed of. But, some of the houses still are in disrepair, the temple. But y'all have done the best you can until Baron sends people in to patch it up and see what they're going to do. But the lightning strikes, and all of a sudden the sky starts flashing red. This weird red lightning and stuff that you've never seen before. No one has ever seen before, except maybe the guy who drank too much from the bottle that one night. The monolith starts flashing, the runes on it start flashing the red and the blues. The sky gets quiet, no more thunder, no more lightning, but you hear this hideous scream come from somewhere deep inside the monolith. That is the end of the adventure I dubbed as the Purge in Porter's Crown. Thanks everybody for playing, and actually it would appear all of y'all survived. Maybe some of you barely, but great job.
All right.